Fresh off the debut of his new TV series, Judge Steve Harvey, the star of the show recently made headlines after saying he wouldn't be able to release another stand-up comedy special because of cancel culture. He states, "Political correctness has killed comedy. Every joke now, it hurts somebody's feelings. What people don't understand about comedians is that a joke has to be about something. It has to be about somebody. The joke can't be about bushes all the time. Some of these jokes have to be about people because that's the most interesting topic." Steve said that the only comedian that can say whatever they want right now is Dave Chappelle because he's not sponsor driven, he's subscription. If Steve were to come back, he said he would wait until he's done with his TV career and call the special "This Is It" or something like that. Today we have our Comedy Hype analysts, Vanessa Fraction, Capone, and Pierre on the show to talk about Steve's comments. Well, first and foremost, welcome back to Comedy Hype News Show. It's been a long time, So we're gonna kick off this year talking about something we've discussed a little more, but I want to talk about it from a different perspective. But first, Pierre, I want to throw it to you. What are your thoughts on what Steve Harvey is saying about cancel culture within the comedy community?
Well, he's actually, he's right. We've talked about it 100 times. We know what it is. And I thank God that somebody like Chappelle is willing to stand up and say what he says. Again, like I said, he's subscription-based. He's not sponsored, but he's the biggest comic in the country. And the fact that he's speaking up and I see his fans are still staying with him, that makes me feel good that they ain't leaving him. And he doesn't have to go through an apology tour every time he says something. And I hope he continues to do that because he's helping us, people like myself, to say what we know. I don't mind saying what I want to say, but I don't want to get canceled or not working. It's ridiculous. So again, I appreciate what Steve's saying. I get it. And I appreciate what Dave Chappelle is doing.
Right. Capone, I want to ask you that same thing. What are your thoughts on what Steve is saying right now?
Canceling. I don't think nobody can be canceled unless they, I agree with Pierre. Worried about what people are saying is one thing. As a comedian, you got to take these risks, and I kind of agree with Steve Harvey, but at the same time, I don't think that it should have been publicized that you putting your comedy career on hold. We've been knew you put your comedy career on hold. You ain't did a special since I don't know when, and I'm not trying to throw jabs at him, but. I don't think that you have the chops to get up on stage and do what it takes to get up there. And that's the way I feel about it. Your TV career is going great and you're great at that. Stick to it.
Vanessa, I'm interested for you to chime in on this. What are your thoughts about what Steve is saying?
I understand in general what he's saying. I agree with that. When you're sponsored, you do have to stay within the lines or within these boundaries because you represent something more than yourself. But I also think that I think y'all got more in your repertoire than what you all are leaning on. You know what I mean? Like, how much cancel shit was y'all trying to say? You know what I mean? Like, how much of when they take the reins off, like, what part of you is that, you know what I'm saying? What do you have to say that's that insulting or that upsetting that you feel like you can't express yourself? A lot of people, when it comes to canceling, it's not that you're saying, I disagree with this. You're saying, I disagree, and then I beat somebody up. I disagree, and I hit somebody over the head with a dollhouse. I disagree, and you know what I'm saying? And whatever else these things are. And it's like, y'all are way more talented than this, and you're way more courageous than you're giving yourself credit for. I do totally understand, though, with Steve, why, though? You know what I mean? You're handling, like Capone said, you're handling something total else, another kind of empire, all that kind of stuff. So, I do understand why you're like, hey, I can't totally be myself.
Right.
Y'all are better than the excuses that you're making.
Now, we were able to sit down with another comedian, Tony Woodson, for an upcoming interview that we have. So I wanted to take a look at it first to see what he had to say, and then we'll talk about it a little more. Let's take a look at this clip.
Another statement, Steve Harvey, he recently was trending on Twitter because he said that he's not going to do another stand-up comedy special because of cancel culture. Do you think cancel culture is really are we giving it too much power?
Well, it's I guess it's like building a house of cards. You take somebody like Steve Harvey, his house of cards is gigantic, isn't it? What? Like a guy like Louis C.K., guy like Dave, they house of cards is gigantic. You see my house of cards? I got one card and laying against the other one. I can say whatever I want to say, and they go knock my house of cards down and go, okay, I'll just do it again. Boop. But he's got way more to lose. So with him having a family and employees, all that other stuff, that is a very wise statement, Mr.
Very
Harvey.
logical.
Yes, yeah, because it's like look it out. You was talking about being a black man. Look at how many black men had to allow someone to belittle them, maybe spit on them, smack them, disrespect their wife or their daughters or their sons right in front of them for the better good of the whole family. Because if I punch this joker in the face, boom, they're going to come back tonight and burn our whole house down.
Holy shit.
Now, Tony was showing a lot of humility there, talking about his house of cards being a lot lower. But I want to start with you, Pierre, and open up the floor as well. What are your thoughts on what, Tony adding to this conversation?
Okay, first of all, me and Tony go back 30 years. We slept on each other's beds and floors and all this kind of stuff. And he's one of the reasons why, I think y'all got him on because I, brokered that deal. So I love Tony Wood. Good Lord, Tony, goddamn. Okay, I guess I understand I'm getting what you're saying, brother. And he's right with the Steve Harvey thing. Yes, Steve Harvey has employees. From the employees' point of view, I understand because people are trying to eat and he's trying to let it last as long as they can. But as far as Steve Harvey worrying about cancel culture, he's rich enough to not worry about working ever again. He doesn't need it. Let's say he talks reckless and they cancel everything he has. He's still going to eat very well. Now, the employees that he's helping work, his employees, they stop eating. So he's doing that for them, not as much as himself. So I believe from that aspect, he's doing, a favor for them. And I can't wait to see Steve Harvey do a special and be the Steve Harvey I know. Because the Steve Harvey I see on TV ain't the Steve Harvey I know behind closed doors. It's a whole different nigga behind closed doors. And I know Steve Harvey.
Now, Vanessa, I see you shaking your head. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on Tony's take?
Understood what he was saying, and it is weighing what makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? As we mature, have families, employees, all those types of things, you have to take those kinds of things into consideration. But again, I'm just wondering, what kind of, you said he's not the same guy, the Family Feud guy that he is, you know what I'm saying, behind closed doors, and I get that. But at what point do we evolve in the way that we express ourselves, you know what I'm saying, that we can be respectful, you know what I'm saying, of all people. We can still disagree. There was a point when people was like, okay, nigger jokes are not good. Don't do nigger jokes. You'll get canceled for stuff like that because it's offensive. I get that we're on a line where everything is offensive. But again, I just think you don't have to talk about puppies and bushes, as Steve Harvey said before, to come up with some really creative comedy. And I will also volunteer myself as a writer if you're having trouble figuring out how you can express yourself without getting canceled.
Now, I want to come to you, Capone, and I want to lay out what we're seeing here. It seems that there's two types of strategy that's being displayed talking about cancel culture in the comedy community. You have Dave, who's not, he's more subscription based. He doesn't have a lot of deals that he holds on to, and he's going to say whatever he wants to say, compared to Steve Harvey, who's saying, hey, I have these deals I have to think about. After I finish my TV career, then I'll get back into stand-up, comedy and stand-up and all this type of things to say what I want to say. So I want to come to you, Capone. Which strategy do you agree with? Are you more on the days to say whatever you want, or Steve who's saying, hey, I'm going to hold on to my deals and wait until after to say what I want?
I'm definitely with Dave. That's number one. You know that. The second thing is that I really like the way Tony analyzed the card situation about having those cards up there. And the only problem that I have with it, that what he said was when those people, who are those people? Those people that come and burn your house down and spit in your wife's face and all of that, you must accept that in order to save your family. And then you kind of like used it in an analytical way where Steve Harvey is not doing stand-up comedy because he wants to save the people who was working for him. Them people can get jobs. Steve Harvey ain't saving nobody but himself. And that's the way it's always been. I mean, he's a great TV personality. He has great shows, but he's never really been a great stand-up person. So for him to even make those statements, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I feel you. Can I say, Capone? I felt you on that part about doing it. He wasn't doing it. He was doing it for the people and not for himself. I'm like, I think it all has to do with you. But that is a very true thing. I will say is that when you have people that work for you, you know what I'm saying, and some stuff goes down, like that is something to consider. There's a lot of people that are losing jobs based upon
decisions that you make.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So that,
when we look at Nick Cannon with Wildin' Out, that was kind of
not that they can't get another job, but
right. But the reason I find that it's ironic because a whole crew that was working for him, and I think in Chicago, they all lost their jobs.
Yes, they did.
He went to LA
and got a whole
nother crew.
Yes,
so
he did.
To me, you wasn't thinking about the people then. So that's why I'm making the statement.
Yes, sir.
Pierre, I want you to chime in and then answer that question between sides. But I want you to chime in on this as well.
But all right, real quick. One, Vanessa said, why not find a clever way to do some material, do clever? Well, it's not my job to find a clever way to do a material. My job is to be a comedian because there's a fan base that I can perform for that isn't the cleverest. They don't want to hear the cleverest stuff. They want to hear the street stuff, the ignorant shit, however you want to put it, which I can get canceled for. So I don't think I have to turn around and make clever material because I'm worried about somebody's feelings. Let me be me and just let me be me. And then if you don't like it, don't support it. But there's a group that will have some hood niggas want to hear some hood shit. It ain't gotta be clever. It can be whatever. And I have a fan base like that. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't mean when I said clever, I didn't mean change your personality, who you are, and the way that you present yourself. I was just saying that there are creative ways that you can say that I disagree with something without being like say
right. But Bernie Mac talking about busted
without being offensive. That's all I was saying.
But all right, like Bernie Mac said, busted to the white meat, or that faggy act like little faggy. Well, he has to change that now for these people. People love that. They love that set. They want to see that kind of humor from Bernie Mac if you're still alive.
Right, and that's why I think we're in.
And not say bust to the white meat because somebody's worried about this child abuse. And they got, come on, these are jokes, y'all. Why I gotta be clever and not say bust to the white meat? Don't hit her. You know what I'm saying? Why I gotta do that? Why I can just be me like a Bernie Mac? People like him. I
agree with you, but I think too though. Yes, today would he say he's a little faggy and people say something about it?
Right, why?
Maybe not, but he also might be one of those. I'm not gonna say they would, but he might be one of those people, like you said, that's going to go toward more of a Dave thing. I'm going to say what I'm going to say and stand on it because my fans want to hear me, and I know that I am joking, and I know that this comes from a way that I was raised, and I'm saying like I'm not literally going to beat this boy's head to the white meat. But as we come out of the 60s, 70s, 80s, when corporal punishment and whooping was all the rage, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. I think he was speaking on that space.
Pierre, let me
instead of
just
saying
Pierre.
Today,
hold on, guys.
White to the white meat.
Y'all come back and y'all just ready just to hop in. But Pierre, I want you to answer the question as well. When we're looking at the two strategies that are being presented, and I love the conversation that y'all are having. When you're looking at those two strategies, how would you say that, which strategy would you say that you're presenting or you're going to move forward with or you believe in?
What two strategies are you talking about?
So we have Dave, and then we have Steve Harvey. So remember, Dave is just saying, hey, I'm going to say what it is that I want to say, but you have Steve Harvey who's saying, I'm going to hold off and wait until my TV career is over to say what I want to say. Right.
Well, I think, Steve Harvey, both of them, if I have no sponsorship, then I'm going to rock out like I am. That's what it is. But I think Steve is holding out for he enjoys what he's doing. He's not done doing the TV stuff. That's why every time you turn around, niggas on something, he's on something. He still likes doing that. He's not ready to give that up. But trust me, when he's ready to give that up, he'll give it up. And right now, it's his ego still wanting to do a lot of stuff. And he's got people who are employed. But trust me, if Steve got canceled tomorrow, Steve would still buy Rolls Royces every year. Okay? It's not a problem with Steve. The money is his ego wanting to do more shows, which I can't blame him. And he's also probably thinking about the people that work for him too. I mean, to a certain point, he does have a situation. So I rock with both of them the same ways. I would do the same. And
then Vanessa, I want you to close this out. When you're looking at those two strategies on the table, which do you agree with?
Both. Because y'all know I stay in the motherfucking middle. But no, I just believe that you have to do what's right for your particular situation. I think what Steve is saying works perfectly well for his situation. It makes a hell of a lot of sense. Why jeopardize anything when you're having as much fun as you're having, making the kind of money that you're having, and you don't have to let go of stand-up. He said, I'll just postpone it and do it at another time. So I'm not even in jeopardy. I ain't got to stress myself out. I really don't give a damn. I also love Dave's approach. I'm going to say what I want to say and how I would like to say it because I know my heart. And I know that I'm just trying to express myself as Pierre said, in my own, you know what I'm saying, authentic way. And I have fans that are going to come and see me and hear me and that, you know, can laugh at the things that I'm saying. So I think that you have to choose what's best for you and at what part in your career it is best for you.
And last thing I say, I'm glad he's waiting out because I want to see the real Steve Harvey on stage. When it's all over, bring that country shit you bring that again. The strongest, opinionated way you bring it. Because if you can't do it now, don't do a stand-up special now. If you feel like you gotta watch,
you can't be yourself. If you feel like you can't be
exactly.
And also, before we close out, today is Steve Harvey's birthday, so a special happy birthday to you, Steve Harvey.
Happy 87th birthday, Steve Harvey.
And we'll look forward to that special. But as always, I appreciate y'all chiming in. Again, welcome back to the Comedy Hype News Show, where we have, you know, deep conversations about things in comedy, culture, and news. So I'm super excited as we continue to move forward this year. It's 2022. So we're going to make sure we bring it back with a bang. I appreciate you. Guys, as always, you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about Steve's comments? But before you go, it's the new year and it's cold and we're always talking about comedy. Comedy Hype does have a card game that you can find on comedyhype.com/shop. I promise it's something that you want to play with your family to really get immersed in the comedy culture. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Don't forget, put it in the comments.
Protect Black culture. Say what you need to say.
Oh, I like that.
Do you know the comedy culture? Play Comedy Hype, the game. Out now.